G'day guys, my name's Chris. I'm a zoologist, an enthusiastic amateur photographer, a filmmaker, and the host of inthewild.com.au. I'm born and bred in Tasmania. I love the wild environment. I work professionally with Tasmanian devils and quolls, and today I'm on my way to film and photograph the three main macropod species we've got in Tasmania. That's the Tasmanian pademelon. It used to be the rufous-bellied pademelon, or the rufous wallaby, but on its extinction in other parts of Australia, they renamed it Tasmanian pademelon. We've got the Bennett's wallaby, which in other states is called the redneck wallaby, and the eastern grey kangaroo. In Tasmania, that's often called the Forester kangaroo. So, three large macropods in the state. I know one place where you can easily photograph all three, and that's where we're headed today, guys. Join me on this adventure. This is really cool. There's a Bennett's wallaby. It's getting some footage at the moment. This is great. It's a male and a female. And she looks like she's not only got pouch young, but she could be going back into estrus, because he's been doing a lot of cloacal sniffing, a lot of displaying. So they've got that extraordinary ability to have different fetus in the pouch at once. So they can have one suspended, one pinky, one sort of third in the pouch and one up foot, all in different stages. Because this is a pretty highly trafficked area, she's pretty confident. So we've ticked off our first species very quickly. So that's awesome. We might leave her be and go looking for our other species, but also don't want to disturb her too much. She's nice and calm, and so we'll head off and have a wander around and look for the pademelon and the eastern grey kangaroo. Pademelon just over here. It's in a great spot. So I'm gonna sort of set up and try and creep in and get some stills to start with. He's pretty calm, so got some pretty decent stills. We'll switch to video. This is really cool. He's super calm. These guys get sort of 8 kilos, something like that. The females are significantly smaller. They get a real red hue to the chest when the females are in estrus, and the males are a pretty aggressive species, and they compete pretty heavily for the right to mate, so you'll often see males pretty heavily scarred up. This one's in pretty good condition. It doesn't have a whole lot of scarring, so I'm guessing it's only a young male. This species is very common in Tasmania, but was driven to extinction by predation from foxes and changes in agricultural practices in other parts of Australia. So it used to be found pretty prolifically throughout the southeast of the continent, and now it's only on the island state of Tasmania. So there are other pademelon species in the country, but a lot of them are more tropical rainforest, and then you've got this one that is sort of in the temperate forests of Tasmania. Just switch to stills again. I just got a bit bold there, moved in a little bit closer, stretched the legs of the tripod out to try and go right to ground level, and he took off, and no surprise, but I'm pretty happy with the footage I've got. So we'll go for a quick walk and we'll see if we can find a female Tasmanian pademelon, and then we're on to the forester kangaroo, or the eastern grey kangaroo. Tasmanian pademelon is a pretty common species in the state. And with how common it is and how densely populated it can be, it tragically makes up about 80% of the roadkill that you see driving around Tasmania. Most of these species are dawn and dusk active. You'll get a lot more daytime activity in an area like this where it's pretty quiet and it's a cool day, so there's not as big a differentiation between the daytime and the nighttime temperature. So you will get some daytime activity, but the danger period is certainly dawn and dusk. So Tasmania's got a big roadkill problem. Just make sure if you are travelling around the island, you slow down at dawn and dusk to just try and reduce your impact. So guys, generally I do a fair bit of run and gun photography. I don't tend to sit in a hide. I like to move around, have a walk, have an adventure and see what I can spot and stalk. Just for me, I find that much more exciting. Maybe not the most successful at getting prize-winning photos, but for me it's all part of the adventure. Spotted another pademelon in a great position, so I'll just set up here and we'll try and get a little bit closer. Well, that was awesome. A female with young, a male came in and scared her off and then she came back. Yeah, I think we ticked that pademelon box. So let's regroup and we'll go out onto the plain and we'll try and find some eastern grey kangaroos. I think I can see some eastern grey kangaroos from here, so that's going to be awesome. If they are, they're in a pretty good spot. There's a big boobialla that I can hide behind, and he's in the sun, and I should be able to hide behind the boobialla and sort of ultimately use the sun to light him up. This could go really well. Definitely eastern greys. big male that I can see. So I'm just going to start putting myself in position. So this animal is right out in the sun. It's in a great spot. It looks relaxed. I've set up my equipment and we'll gradually sort of walk in and try and get some photographs of it. There he is there. So we'll just try and bridge the gap. If I startle him, which is pretty likely, the rest of the mob's just up in over here. Kangaroos are a social animal. It's one of the things that differentiates them from a wallaby. Wallabies are loners. Kangaroos are social. They live in a group. We call it a mob. It's sort of a herd, a small family group. And so where there's one, there's usually a few. And I'll try and score some photos of this male, but there's some females and some young that he's watching out for. We'll try and get them next. Directly in front, so I'll zoom in and get a few snaps. He's just lying down, looking around, pivoting his ears every time he hears something, but isn't showing any signs of stress, which is the way it should be. We shouldn't compromise his life and quality of life just to get a photo or to make a YouTube video. Spotted a couple of females from here, so again, just gonna set up, move in, get a few shots, move in, get a few shots. As soon as I start to see them feel a little bit uncomfortable, we'll stop there. We'll stop right on the edge of this animal's circle of fear. So I've got her in front. I'm using 60 frames a second so I can slow it down. I've got a shutter speed of 125, which is the closest to double my frames per second. And I've got it on f11, so I don't have too shallow a depth of field. And I'm hoping that it's coming out really well. One thing I didn't realise from the other angle was that she's got some young. It's laying down in the bracken fur at her feet. I couldn't see it from the other angle. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's probably sort of over 12 months old. It's probably at the last stage of being with her, but yeah, I feel pretty lucky to have seen that as well. So they jumped off, which is fine. I've had about half an hour of shooting. They left on their own accord, and I'm not going to pursue them. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that adventure. I certainly did, and it was a real thrill to see not only adults of both sexes, but young of different ages as well. That was great. These animals are relatively common. They're pretty easy to observe, particularly at a place like this that's got different habitat types. I absolutely enjoyed my day. I hope you did. If you could take the time to like and comment and share the video around, if you could subscribe and click the notification bell, that really helps the channel. If you'd like to go to my socials, they're all inthewild.com.au. My website is, of course, www.inthewild.com.au. And if you want to help this channel, even in its infancy, go to buymeacoffee.com/inthewild.com.au. Guys, I'm going to sign off. Remember to always put nature first, stay focused, and I'll see you out in the wild. My name's Chris. Thank you.